A single stickman stands on a short line labeled 0-80 years. The camera slowly pulls back. Narration. You'll get about 80 trips around the sun, if you're lucky. 80 birthdays. 80 winters. The line keeps shrinking as the camera zooms out. Centuries, then millennia, then millions of years flash by. The stickman's lifespan now an invisible dot. Now compare that to the universe, which has been running for about 13.8 billion years. Your entire life doesn't even register as a flicker, which raises a strange question. What's happening right now, slowly, all around us, that we simply won't stick around long enough to witness the end of? And on the flip side, what are we getting to see right now that people in the far future will never get a chance to? Scene 2, the time pyramid, 0:45 to 2 minutes. A stickman construction worker lays a single brick on a pyramid. A calendar page flips, plus 10 years, and he lays one more. Narration. In a small town in Germany, there's a pyramid being built one concrete block at a time. Literally, one block every 10 years. It started in the 1990s, and at that rate, it won't be finished until around the year 3183. Time lapse. The stickman ages, is replaced by his child, then grandchild, each adding a single block over centuries. Nobody who started this project will see it completed. Not their kids, not their kids' kids. It's a monument built entirely out of patience, a structure designed from day one to outlive everyone who cares about it. Scene 3. Chernobyl's long shadow, 2 minutes to 3 minutes. A simple radioactive decay graph, sloping down almost imperceptibly. A stickman in a hazmat suit stands next to a warning sign. Narration. Some things left behind by humans will outlast us by orders of magnitude more than that. Take the site of the Chernobyl disaster. Certain radioactive isotopes released there will take tens of thousands of years to fully decay to safe levels. The stickman ages and is replaced, generation after generation, standing next to the same warning sign, which never comes down. That's not a next few generations problem. That's a civilizations may rise and fall before this is fully clean problem. Scene 4. Betelgeuse goes supernova. 3 minutes to 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Visual. A giant star icon in a stick figure night sky, pulsing slightly. A stickman looks up, pointing. Narration. Look up at Orion on a clear night and you'll spot Betelgeuse, a red supergiant so enormous that if you swapped it with our sun, it would swallow Mars. It's dying, and when it finally goes, it'll go out as a supernova, possibly bright enough to be visible in broad daylight for weeks. The star suddenly bursts into a blinding white flash, briefly outshining a small stick figure sun in the corner of the frame. Here's the catch. Nobody knows exactly when. It could happen tomorrow night. It could happen in 100,000 years. We're just waiting, watching a star that might already be gone, its final light still crossing space toward us. Scene 5. 2 galaxies, 1 collision. 4:15 to 5:15. Visual. 2 simple spiral shapes labeled Milky Way and Andromeda drift toward each other across a star field. Narration. Zoom out even further. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, and our neighbor Andromeda are on a collision course, closing the distance at over 100 kilometers per second. In roughly 4 billion years, they'll merge into one enormous galaxy. The 2 spirals slowly tangle together into a new chaotic shape. A stickman watches from a hill, tiny against the sky. The night sky our descendants, if we have any that far out, will look up at won't look anything like ours, assuming, of course, there's still an us around to notice. Scene 6, the twist. What they will miss. 5:15 to 7 minutes. Visual. A future stickman standing on a hill looks back through a telescope aimed at the past, at us. Narration. So far, this has all been about what we'll miss, but time cuts both ways. Right now, today, You have access to things that people thousands of years from now simply won't. Visual, a stick figure Earth and Moon. The Moon drifts a tiny distance further away with each frame. The Moon is drifting away from Earth, about 4 centimeters a year. Eventually, it'll sit too far away to perfectly cover the Sun. Total solar eclipses, that perfect, eerie ring of fire in the sky, will simply stop happening. You've lived in the era when that's still possible. Future generations won't get to see totality at all. Visual, a simple waterfall icon with a stickman standing at its edge. The waterfall's edge slowly creeps backward, upstream. Niagara Falls is eroding upstream, a few feet at a time, every year. Slowly, it's carving its way toward Lake Erie, and one day, geologically speaking soon, it won't exist as a waterfall anymore. Mount Rushmore is eroding too. Estimates suggest the faces will be worn beyond recognition within tens of thousands of years. Carved to last forever, but forever has an expiration date. Saturn, its rings slowly fading into faint dotted lines and then disappearing. And Saturn, that unmistakable ringed planet, is actually losing its rings. Icy material is raining down onto the planet, and within the next few 100 million years, the rings could be gone entirely. Right now, in the whole multi-billion-year history of the solar system, we happen to be alive during the narrow window when Saturn has rings to look at. Scene 7. Closing reflection, 7 to 8 minutes. The stickman from the opening sits on a park bench, watching an ordinary sunset. The camera slowly pulls back to reveal the same deep time timeline from Scene 1, his tiny lifespan marked as a single dot on it. Narration. We're standing in the middle of a story that started long before us and will keep going long after, one where some of the biggest moments are too slow or too far off for any single life to catch. But that cuts both ways. Somewhere in this narrow, ordinary-looking sliver of time, we're the ones who get total eclipses, and Niagara Falls, and Saturn's rings, and a sky without a second sun. The stickman just watches the sunset fade to black. Maybe that's worth looking up for. End card. What will you go see while you still can?